You've heard that commercial real estate is a problem, but if you're not invested in it, then why should you care? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. In today's video, I'm going to explain everything you need to know about the commercial real estate scenario that's going on right now. It's a crisis and it's unfolding before our very eyes. So pay attention. I'll give you all the details that you need to know. Let's begin by taking a look at the contrarian aspect of this. As you see, Warren Buffett's protege makes an offbeat bet by San Francisco real estate. So if you can believe it or not, somebody is actually willing to buy it. Now, of course, anytime you have a depressed asset, there are going to be buyers because they're thinking, hey, if this thing can go up just a little bit, well, then we can do very well on our cash because nobody wants to touch it. And that's an important thing. It's a distinction with a lot of the others because for so many people, they had been unable to look at this as a real investment opportunity. Is that changing now? Well, we'll see if this contrarian made the right bet. CRE, commercial real estate vet, who advised on $8 billion of deals, says 30% of office buildings are basically worth nothing and just have to be torn down. Now, this is where I want to spend some time for a minute because you got to understand this. There's a lot of real estate out there. I'll show you the chart that actually gives you the inventory. You got to know that a lot of the debt is coming due on it. And certainly we have an issue because there's a lot of unnecessary buildings. And what do you do with unnecessary buildings? Well, that's the problem that we've encountered here with commercial real estate. As remote work keeps employees out of the office and vacancy rates sit at all-time highs, commercial property owners are desperately trying to avoid default by upgrading their spaces to attract new tenants, converting their space into apartments, or simply offloading their assets. One longtime industry professional doesn't think that will be enough, and that's where we get into the crisis for commercial real estate. You see, there's a problem. I'm going to give you an idea of how much is actually, in this center or the core of this issue. And I want you to think for a second of who this starts to affect. Commercial real estate is just a small piece of the big real estate puzzle. We know that. There's real estate globally. Of course, we look at office, we look at retail, we look at residential, we look at industrial, we look at warehousing. I mean, there's all these different parts to it. And certainly there's an issue here when there's just way too much retail and way too much office. You got to know how many people have moved back into the office and how many are going to remain in hybrid status. Can you guess? I'm going to show you the details here for the United States. How many workers at this time in let's say late 2023, how many of them are back to the office? Well, I'm going to show you that in a second. It's crazy. The real estate downturn comes for America's premier office towers. Yes, this is the problem, even at the biggest of the big companies. Well, this is where we have an issue because the debt comes due. Well, looking at the current years of supply based on 2015 to 2019 average net absorption. So what does that mean? Office, Class A and Class B, there's just too much. The supply, if we compare it to all these different things, and look, we're comparing pre-2020, okay? The 4 years pre-2020, and you could see that there's a clear oversupply of office. And that then cannot be resolved by simply flipping a switch. You can't print your way out of that. Well, at least you can't actually print your way. You can try. You can try doing it. You could see here. Let's look at the three different aspects. There's the work from home barometer. That's the yellow line. Or should I say, dare I say, the gold line. You have open table diners, so representative of restaurants, and then the TSA checkpoints. All right, so air travel, looking at restaurants, and then, of course, we see it with the work from home, 53%. So what did you answer? Their answer right now is 53%. And that is truly something to behold because we were not expecting anything like this at all. Brace for more pain in commercial real estate as a mountain of debt comes due. Market fundamentals on office properties are deteriorating fast. This is Canada, this is US, this is basically everywhere. Office prices still need to drop 50% for housing conversion projects to work. That's where it comes into play here when we start to see the solutions. Oh, I know. We have a shortage of houses. We got a lot of office. We just convert them. Done. Problem solved. But the issue is, as they say here, for it to work, the prices of those properties have to come down. Now, let's say that happens. 50%. Right. Well, who's now taking that loss? Who's going to take the loss on that? Well, there are lenders out there that are going to be punished as a result of this. Who are those lenders? Well, the vast majority of them are actually the regional lenders. Remember SVB, Silicon Valley Bank. Remember Signature. Remember all these, like right now what we're seeing is New York Community Bank, NYCB, that's having a major problem and currently, as of this recording, is in the midst of collapsing. Those are the ones often lending to these commercial real estate properties. So we've got an issue that goes on as a result. There is a chain effect. There's a problem that cannot simply be resolved by saying, well, you know what? We just cut the valuation down by 50%, convert it over to residential real estate. We're all good. It's not going to happen like that. There could be some instances. Look at this. Look how terrible this is. Developer considers tennis courts for empty Manhattan lot slated for office tower. Oh, we don't need office towers. There's too much of them, and building them, what are we building them for? I got an idea. Let's put a tennis court there. I mean, what a world is. Wow. I mean, probably would fill it up and it would bring in revenue, but a tower, let's say it was 50 stories, let's say it was 80 stories, that would have brought in a lot more revenue, and now something very different. Okay, so we've definitely encountered a problem in the commercial real estate market. You've got to know the ins and outs. In this video, we discuss the inventory levels. You can see the oversupply. The debt is coming due. There are fundamental issues here, and they cannot be resolved. So who are the weakest links? They are the regional banks. New York Community Bank, NYCB. You're looking at all those other regional banks. They are front and center. There's even a regional bank ETF, which you can pay attention to give yourself a little bit of a look into what the markets believe right now are going on. So I hope you appreciated this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Check that link in the description below to get the latest and greatest beyond anything you've seen before. 2 hours with me every single Friday, where I bring you the best of the best, unheard of anywhere else. If you can't make it live for that session, I give people the recordings of those sessions. I hope that you will be one of those. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.